And have you fought professionally with that?
Yeah. I fought. Basically, I started fighting properly when I was 18, 19, and then I fought all over the world really. Won 5 world titles and European titles. And
Is that what you got?
yeah.
Flipping heck.
Well, not at the moment because I've ripped my rotator cuff off the bone.
Is that because you were competing?
No, it's because I was sparring with some black belts that were going for the black belt. And
Right. I love it.
And let's finish on this, Paul. Have you got a shot or a memory or a hunt in your mind that is just your best ever that will stick in your memory for a lifetime? When you speak about just casually knocking out a 450-yard fox last night, there must be some belters in there. Well, here we go. Welcome back to the Tweedl podcast. Myself and my normal co-host, Rob Fennick. And we are joined today by YouTube sensation, social media sensation, the best looking stalker in the country,
I like that one.
Mr. Paul Childerely.
Yeah, I like the last one. That's the best one.
Yeah, you like that? Welcome, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah.
How's it all going, mate? Bit of sunshine?
Yeah, about time, innit? It's been a wet old winter for everybody, so
Horrendous.
nice to get a bit of sunshine.
Just push the mic a bit closer to your mouth if you don't mind. Right. We are obviously back at EJ Churchill. For the people that aren't watching on YouTube, you're just on Spotify. If you hear the odd bang, that's Rob Fennick making money. That's clays being smashed or missed, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
And then you recycle them and put them back in the trap.
Yeah, I wish we could pick them up. Unfortunately, we can't. They can't be used twice.
Oh, there you are.
I know, so we recycle them all. But yeah. So how's it all going then, Paul? Busy then?
Yeah, had a busy season with obviously game shooting and then stalking all the way through as well. So.
And you've got 2 shoots, haven't you?
Yeah, I run 2 shoots. One's a slightly bigger shoot with it's like the full hospitality in the works, and then the other shoot's a bit more low key and have dinner with the beaters. So it's like quite a good mix of the two.
Whereabouts are they?
Next to Woburn, so one on each side of the Woburn actually. So yeah, Bedfordshire.
Gorgeous part of the world.
Yeah, it's busy.
Yeah.
A lot of roads, a lot of cars. But that's the good side. There's the upside and downside. And the upside is obviously lots of people, lots of money.
Yeah.
Downside.
Good golf course.
Yeah, very good golf course. Yeah.
Well, there's lots of people with lots of money. There's a lot of bad people as well, I imagine, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you get a bit of poaching and stuff?
Yeah, I get a little bit, you know. Same anywhere, really. It's not like poaching, it's more vandalism, I'd call it these days. It's not really like the old traditional poaching, it's more vandalism and,
fly tipping and stuff like that.
Yeah, break and enter, smash things down, bit of coursing with the deer. So, yeah.
I remember meeting a guy, I say it's probably 10 years ago. So my granddad used to be a head keeper at Windsor.
All right.
In the home park, in the Great Park, sorry. And he was there for 20 years. And I met this old boy and he said, I said, you're Rob Fennick. He said, you're no relation to Bill Fennick. And I said, it's quite unusual. Do you know, because my parents are from Yorkshire. And I was like, yeah, he's my granddad. He went, he said, I remember. He said, I used to be the old policeman around Windsor. And he said, we had poachers. I mean, we're going back quite a lot of years. And he said, I remember your granddad well. I went, oh, how come? He said, well, my friend was the poacher. And he said, we were in the bottom of this ditch. And he said, this chap was poaching. And they said, they literally waited for him in this ditch, waited for him. As he stepped over the ditch, they grabbed hold of him, dragged him into the ditch, gave him a good beating, and he gave him a good beating with the policeman, and that was the poacher sorted out. Do you know what I mean? And he left him with the odd little battle wound, and that was it. But I mean, we're going back a long time ago, and that was how they dealt. And I remember speaking to my grandfather, he's not with us anymore, but I remember speaking to him, and he was like, yeah, lad, he said, I couldn't do the job now. He said, it's got to be done serious now. He said, that's how we dealt with poachers in those days. It's absolutely right, isn't it? But now, of course, it's just a nightmare.
It's a different beast now. It's you've got to be super careful. Even when I'm approaching the public now, I actually stick the mobile on and record the conversation because it can quite easily turn a bit verbal. People are always heated because they're not on the footpath or they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. So.
And you obviously don't hide away from the fact what you do. You're all over social media and. A lot of people, a lot of other estates don't do that. But
no, definitely.
You're not afraid to put it out there.
Yeah.
What you're up to.
So basically, why I did it was because basically when I took the shoot over myself, I needed to publicise the shoot and get clients. So it was an easy option. But whereas before that, I shied away from anything to do with publicity.
And so, what is the story then? How did you become the shoot owner of 2 shoots and I believe your dad was a gamekeeper, was he? Have you been in shooting your whole life? Or
yeah, it's a long. Do I want to bore you all with this?
I don't. You can short and sweet it if it's not much fun.
We'll let you know if we fall asleep. We're boring. We'll move on. But go on, mate.
Yeah. So father's a gamekeeper. Trained with him. Went through the whole system with underkeeper, trainee keeper, underkeeper, beatkeeper. Moved on to another estate and did beatkeeper. Then I moved down to where I am now and took set a shoot up. Set the shoot up, had it for 8 years. The guy sold the estate, made me redundant, took the shoot on. So that's basically the short crux of it all.
And how many years ago was that?
12, 13 years ago. I took it on myself. Yeah, so it's...
Never looked back?
Actually. Must be 13, 14 years ago.
And do you like the game shoot? Because you do a huge amount of the stalking, which we'll talk about. Which, we chat all about that. But which side do you love? Both sides? Is the one, if you had to go for one or the other, where do your not loyalties, but you know what I mean? Where does your love lie?
It's they've both got their ups and downs. Shooting, as we know, is such an expensive outlay.
Yeah.
So there's an immense amount of pressure running the shoot. So anyone that sits in this chair, or you talk to anybody that runs a shoot, they're probably thinking about their rear and field when the birds come in, whether the client, it's a hard business to do. But the stalking is always enjoyable because you're one-on-one.
Yeah.
It's quite easy. You wander around the woods. And the slightly difference between the two, people come on a shoot date and they expect good quality birds. They expect good hospitality.
Yeah.
Me to be on my best form.
Yeah.
Whereas you go stalking and you don't come back with anything, you're mostly walking around silent. So it's quite an easy gig in comparison of the two.
Yeah.
But no, they both got benefits.
I guess when it comes to it though, the pricing differential is massive, isn't it?
It is massive.
You don't get much, four figures and under for game shooting, and I suppose though maybe
a big Chinese water deer. Yeah, a big Chinese buck will set you back a few quid.
Yeah. You can go and shoot these other animals abroad. You can make a hunting trip of it, so you can spend big, especially with the wild boar and stuff. But it seems to last longer than a day shooting. That's my
the memory of it as well.
Yeah, and
Chinese water deer especially. I mean, it's a phenomenon, isn't it? If that's what you want. A lot of people. I mean, we have people from all over the world wanting, to go and hunt a Chinese water deer.
It is, yeah. It's a unique species. So with that, it's people just do come from all over the world just to see it and hunt it.
And do you not feel like more recently Chinese water deer, probably because of yourself, has become this thing around that everybody wants to do? Because for years, I never really knew. I mean, up north, there isn't any of them at all.
Yeah.
And for years, I never really knew it was a thing to go and do in the UK. Whereas now, everybody seems to want to take that off their list, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's a few things, really. I think, obviously, the social media and people seeing what they can do. Other thing is the species has grown.
Yeah.
Other thing is estates, stalkers, gamekeepers realise there's a value in them. So they basically want to promote them and look after them. And and I think probably in the last 4 or 5 years, probably longer than that, rifle shooting has increased as a sport and as a hobby, especially in lockdown. It was a massive increase then. So you've probably seen it as well with
we have.
difference.
Yeah. And talk to us about the whole, for listeners, which I think is really the habitat, what you're doing with the sort of, the estate and everything else, with your stalking, because I think the whole environmental piece gets lost a lot, doesn't it?
It does. It's a happy balance when you're managing deer, whether whatever species it is. As they seen in Scotland at the moment, they got major problems with stags being shot all year round. It's like a big hit for them, I think, personally. It's trying to keep farmers happy, landowners happy. If they're in a grant scheme, kind of keep the numbers down so they're not damaging the trees or the crops. So it is a very happy medium for everybody. And if you're doing it commercially, then you got to have a balance that you need deer for the following year. You don't want to shoot them all out. I would say the best way to manage them is basically manage them to the landowner and also manage them for the species, so you're getting strong animals.
Yeah. So,
I mean, a good managed place, you'll see good healthy animals. There'll be a constant flow of animals every year when they breed. So, it's an income and I think it's a good...
I think the reality is, like, the further south you go as well, you hear stories of deer just being absolutely everywhere, like overpopulated in some areas. Isn't that right?
It's massive at the moment. I mean, it's...
I don't think people realise that.
No.
But me and Charlie this morning have driven down towards Swindon, and on the M40, every, I don't know, 500 yards, there is a deer
Yeah.
on the central reservation or the hard shoulder.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it.
Been hit by a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a massive growth. A little bit to do with COVID. Probably the main thing is venison prices. People are not just going to shoot them for the sake of shooting them.
Yeah.
So the venison prices over the last 2 or 3 years fluctuate, and when it drops, people don't shoot them.
Yeah.
So, and then of course numbers gain.
Yeah, because I mean the whole thing with all this venison is, they're shot and they go into the food
Exactly,
chain, don't
yeah.
they? I mean,
Yeah.
and it's actually quite easy to do so, isn't it? And you see venison now more than ever on menus.
Yeah, definitely, and it has become not a trend, but I think people realise it's a cracking sort of.
And who do you
Bodies.
supply? Do you supply local butchers, or are you supplying restaurants, or?
We Game Dealer has a few others like fallow deer, but we basically about 5-6 years ago we started processing our own.
Yeah.
So the Chinese water deer, I think the year before last we done 700, and we processed all those.
Yeah.
All the muntjac, we done like 300 muntjac.
And they're all going into restaurants and.
I have a couple of restaurants that come and pick the carcass what they want.
Yeah.
And then we process the rest into burgers, koftas, sausages. We do all the fillets out,
Well.
vacuum them up. A lot of the guns on the shoot days come.
Yeah.
Take
and
a
they,
pack.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they email me, say, right, we want 10 packs of this, 10 packs of that, take away with us.
Amazing.
And then on some days, well, I give them, instead of a brace of birds, we give them more the syndicate and the people that look
Yeah.
after.
Yeah. They give him some venison.
Yeah.
And are you a good rifle shot yourself, mate? Or well, does that say it all? I love the confident chuckle.
If he wasn't, it'd be a bit poor.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit poor, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know.
know. Yeah.
You called with
All
Mr.
right.
Fox last night, didn't you?
Yeah. I was tough last
With a
night.
broken rotator cuff.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. Done one last night, which was good. But yeah, I think anybody that does repetition and got a natural ability, like
Yeah.
from a clay shot to a game shot,
Yeah.
put them on a rifle, they learn really quickly, and it's
And you're away.
yeah. But I still think ladies are actually probably some of the best rifle shots for accuracy.
Really?
Yeah. For accuracy and for grouping, they are amazing.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What do you think that is? The steadiness?
Steadiness, controlled. They take instruction quite well on the teaching side of it.
Yeah.
Whereas men
We
like
find that on the clay pigeons. If you talk to the instructors, they'll say if they get some ladies who've never done it before and some guys who've never done it before, ladies will just learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They seem to be able to absorb and they listen. Maybe with men, we're all a bit macho and we're going to be great, and actually,
Yeah.
whereas the girls maybe
Yeah,
not
definitely.
so much.
Yeah.
And I think they sort of just take instruction better, in a way, and listen, and off they go.
Yeah.
And they do it really well.
And so now, Paul, everyone sees you on the Phil Sports channel. How did that come about? When did you start going on YouTube? And because you've been on some pretty cool trips with them boys, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been an amazing few years actually. I started off because took it on myself the estate, and we had already done about 2 or 3 videos on the estate at the time, but I was behind the scenes. I didn't want to be in front of the camera. It wasn't my thing. And then of course once I took it on myself, I needed that
Yeah.
exposure to get clients, and basically went there and stumbled my words like I am today. And
No, don't be daft, mate.
it's quite
You're
funny
great
actually.
compared to Sam. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Sam is very bright. It's not actually bright here. It's Sam's shirt that's making us all squint.
Yeah.
It's very white, that, isn't it?
It is, mate. Yeah. Do you like that?
Very smart.
I'll lend it if you want.
No, you're right. I wouldn't fit in.
Yeah. So, what are some of the top trips you've been on? I mean, I watched one where, God knows where you were in the world. It was cold and it was snowy, and you were shooting Kappa Cayley.
Oh yeah.
That looked unbelievable.
Yeah, that was in Lapland. Yeah, we were minus 30 skis.
Minus 30.
Yeah, David's camera kit frozen. It was bits
Wow.
of the plastic were chipping off. I mean, it's amazing. 3-4 days out there.
Yeah.
That was
Incredible.
an amazing trip. Yeah, and then I think it was like 8-9 months later we went to Mozambique, and it was plus 38. So and it's amazing actually.
Was that for the buffalo?
That was the buffalo.
Yeah. That was pretty close encounter, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was quite extreme.
Get the heart pumping a little bit.
Yeah, that was it was a real. Both of those were like probably the 2 real hunts
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
there was no hiding.
Yeah.
You had to use your skills, and you had to think about where you were. I mean, you think in Sweden you probably wouldn't have to, but the cold out there. I mean, it's serious.
Oh yeah.
I went to shoot ptarmigan years ago in
Yeah.
Iceland, and I went out with some friends. We went to this place and we flew into Reykjavik and then flew further north. and we bumped into the film crew of the Game of Thrones
All right.
in the airport, and we had some guns with us, and we got the guns in Reykjavik, and we took them up in the plane with us. When we got there, they came out on the turnstile in their slips, you know, on the belt as it goes round. In comes your luggage was coming through. The next thing, your gun came in its slip along this turnstile in the airport in North Reykjavik, North Iceland. We got the guns. We went up. With these, the snow had been quite bad. And so we, you know, you put them sort of tennis racket snowshoes on, and off we went. It was hard old work.
I bet.
And then we had a few drinks that night and dinner, and they said to us, there's quite a bit of snow coming tonight, so be prepared. We'll have to see what we're going to do tomorrow. And I was like, all right. The next morning, we had about 8 foot of snow in one night.
Flipping out.
And literally, you couldn't open the door. You opened the door, and it was just a snowdrift had come against it.
Yeah.
And we had to, and they were like, right, we really need to get you back to the airport to get you down to Reykjavik because we were going in a day's time. We had to call it short early because they said, we just got to get out of here. Yeah. You got to get out of here. That's a nightmare. And they had, you know, those obviously the Hiluxes with the massive, great inflatable wheels which they could deflate, can't they, and inflate from inside the cab. And we took this vehicle, and the snow was horrendous. I mean, I'd never, ever seen snow like it. I mean, 8 foot in you know, like 8 hours.
Yeah.
And we got there, the signs, you know, like the road signs at the side of the road, they were covered. They were like 8 foot tall, and you could only just see them. And we're going along this snow. Anyway, and then we got stuck, so you had to call Mountain Rescue. And we were with professional guides, so they knew what they were doing. Yeah. They got stuck. They had to call Mountain Rescue. Mountain Rescue got stuck trying to rescue us. So our guys had to go and help Mountain Rescue come and rescue us. And then eventually we got out. It took us, I can't think what it's like 5 hours to do 4 miles or something like that. It was absolutely, I mean, God, it was an experience, I must admit.
Yeah, definitely. And you probably appreciate, you know, it's the one probably thing, the downside of it all, of all these amazing trips I've done some amazing stuff, is that when you go on a holiday, family holiday, you go to the touristy bit. You don't see the real country.
No.
And it's an amazing place. You've gone, you go to the nicest unseen restaurants with the traditional food, and meet some fantastic, quirky
I love
people.
meeting all the locals, chatting about it,
and learn some weird and wonderful things and stories that you hear from them.
Yeah.
And so it's been an experience and
I bet
so far.
Sorry about that, boys. And people watching, it is 17 degrees in England, so we thought we'd do a podcast outside. And 20 or 30 minutes into the podcast, the camera's overheated. So, what's the chances of that? Anyway, we're back on. So, Paul, what people might not know about you is you're in a remarkable shape, which is fairly obvious, but that's from kickboxing, isn't it?
Well, that's compared to you and I.
Yeah. No, mate, the guy's in decent.
It's not setting the barrier, is it? But you are in good shape, mate. Come on.
I'll take
Fitness is obviously a key part, isn't it?
Yeah, I basically started kickboxing when I was 15, 16 and got a bit of a kicking off a few lads and started kickboxing, basically. And it sort of suited me and, Do
you still do it?
Yeah, so I got a club, got my own club.
Have you?
Yeah, one stage
what,
I had.
Teaching it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I trained in Cheltenham, that's where I grew up. And then when I moved down to Bedfordshire, there were no clubs that I very like that much, already a black belt, and set my own up. And back to the same old thing with people, amount of people in the area, my club's just soared, and I've had a lot of
You
students.
don't still compete?
Well, not at the moment, because I've ripped my rotator cuff off the bone.
Is that because you were competing?
No, it's because I was sparring with some black belts that were going for their black belt, and I ripped it, and So.
Are you black belt?
Yeah, 6 dan, yeah.
Flipping out.
6 dan, what?
6 dan black belt.
And so, where is that the top, or can you be a 7 dan or an 8 dan?
You can keep going. It just means you're old.
Right.
Basically. That's the long and short of it. Yeah, you know, you go all the way up. It's each amount of years between each belt.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Comes in quite handy with the poachers.
I think so.
We'll be getting a knock next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good sort of that's probably where the interest from media and filming first kicked off, because I did quite a few magazine stuff.
Yeah.
And because I was a little bit different with the kickboxing and in the papers and whatnot, it's sort of that's why it probably kicked off with the filming and the media side of things as well.
Right. And have you fought professionally with that?
Yeah, I fought. Basically, I started fighting properly when I was 18, 19, and then I fought all over the world, really. Won 5 world titles and European titles. And
is that what you got?
Yeah.
Flipping heck.
I never knew this. Sorry, can Can you just say that a little bit slower and louder? Because you sort of mumbled 5 world titles.
I know it's really fun. I find it a little bit.
What bloody hell?
I'm not very. I've never done it for anybody apart from myself.
So you were the world kickboxing champion.
Well, it was
5 times.
Yeah, in different weights.
Right.
So I won it in one. It's quite funny.
It's unbelievable.
It's a.
Is this different to cage fighting?
Yeah, I did 3 of them as well.
You did 3 of that, right?
Do you watch UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be into it quite heavily when they. So I've done 3 of those. Didn't really like them.
Why is that? Because you're in a cage.
Yeah.
Can't get out.
Because it's bloody.
Well, anything goes, isn't it?
It's hardcore, yeah, and also.
But are they kickboxers? I don't follow UFC, but I mean, I know it's massive.
It's mixed martial arts.
It's mixed martial
Basically,
arts.
anything goes.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, they're very skilled.
But if
very
you
fit.
were a good, let's take when you were absolutely prime in your
Yeah.
kickboxing side, could you have gone into cage fighting because there's massive money in it and done really well in cage fighting
that's-
because you were a good kickboxer or
That's
world?
what I sort of looked at doing. I
Yeah.
sort of like tried to do the transition and started doing jiu-jitsu and went through that side of it more. Did 3 fights. It just wasn't. I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
A lot of rolling around on the floor with a bloke covered in blood, basically, and it just wasn't my style. I quite like the stand-up fighting and a bit more.
So actually, you snapping your rotator cuff is really annoying.
Yeah.
Do you think
Well,
on
How long,
live?
how long are you going to be out for?
3 to 6 months? It's not good for work either, really.
No.
It's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm really gutted because I was going to actually, as part of this, I was going to make you like wrestle with Sam now and like do some turn and smash him to the floor.
Yeah, we're still going to do it. I've got an advantage now. He's injured. He'll still beat
Don't
me.
let him be.
He'll
He'll
beat
be
me
like,
with one
I
hand.
beat a 5 times world champion kickboxer. That'd be it. It'd be impossible to deal with.
Yeah, straight on the Facebook status.
We had a guy, a French chap, comes here shooting, and he's been here now probably 5 or 6 times. Met him through a friend of mine, and he was 8 times jiu-jitsu champion.
Oh yeah,
World
jiu-jitsu.
champion.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, is that right? Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what he which is. I mean, he teaches. I mean, unbelievable the people that do that sport.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I mean,
super fit, you know.
yeah, they're bringing people over shooting.
Yeah.
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 You know, and some mainly in America.
Yeah.
We've got a big contact out there, and he was saying that they all do jiu-jitsu, and he's really quiet, except he's got one very bad cauliflower ear. He's about 6'6". There's not an ounce of fat on him. And I said to myself, there's definitely a bit of story behind that cauliflower ear. Yeah. And it's only on one side, and I can't remember his reason why it is.
Yeah, you've done pretty well for that, mate. You've no real.
My ribs are quite smashed up.
Are they?
Fair. Yeah. My nose for a big nose has been quite.
Yeah.
Say good guard.
Easy target.
Yeah. So
I know how you feel.
I had it really like structured inside because it was a bit smashed at one stage, but but no, it's been good. It's been.
So can we watch this on YouTube? Paul Childerley World Championship kickboxer or what?
Because it was in the old days.
What year are we talking?
Peaking of like around 2000. So a lot of the stuff was on DVD. I got stuff on DVD.
Right.
So it's really funny. I don't try and I don't know. I probably should promote it a little bit more and maybe put some old fights out and stuff.
Bro, trust me, if I was 5-time world championship kickboxer, I'd have a T-shirt made and I wouldn't take it off. I'd shoulder pause people in a pub who wants it.
That's because he's from Lancashire. That's quite standard from there. Well, I'm from Yorkshire. It's a much nicer part. Over the Pennines, do you know what I mean? A little bit nicer.
Leave that there, yeah. That's subject to opinion.
Oh, mate.
But
That's
no, it's been
fantastic
good. It's been
stuff.
good. It's actually quite good to have that interest outside work as well.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're going there, it's like somebody goes away and plays golf or whatever. You got to concentrate on the sport you're doing, and it's been a good sideline, as I say.
Yeah.
Any people that have come to your gym and done all that have come out stalking with you? Any interesting stories there? Anything? Have people, or is it a completely separate lives for you? One's shooting and one's
I
your
kept
gym.
it totally separate.
Do you?
Yeah, I have done. I
It's
mean,
quite nice to keep away from it at times, I think.
And I was always, because I was running the kickboxing as a business with clubs, I was always quite sensitive about people knowing what I'd done.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when I started doing stuff with
Field sports.
it just, you know, and people see it, and do you know what? People don't worry about it.
No.
I was over concerned for no reason. So I've been running it for like 25 years, a club.
Yeah, and you were worried about them knowing that.
All that time, whereas I should have just got on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it's true though. You don't know everyone else's opinion on it,
Exactly.
do you?
And it's a business. You know, I didn't want to lose members, and you know, it's a financial loss from it as well.
Yeah.
But no, it's been good.
Can't imagine vegans kickbox though, can you?
I was going to say, kick my ass.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. I've been watching your podcast. Dang.
What and so you keep it all a little bit separate, but you must be quite busy. I mean, if you're doing that in the evenings and running your gym, and you're doing your stalking a lot in the evenings and various early mornings, and then you're shooting throughout the season, there can't be much room for anything else, mate, is there? Plus you're filming.
I know. Then he's going all over the world with.
Yeah.
But do you know what? It's funny to say. It's about planning, as you know. Everyone's got their own business.
Yeah,
You've been come back from the Young Farmers thing. You're back down here. And it's planning,
Yeah.
working hard. Last year we done I think 70 odd shoot days. Shot
Wow.
1,000 deer. And the kickboxing.
You're not rearing your own game, are you?
No. Because we go with the season so late with the stalking. We end of middle of April.
Yeah.
With the row as well. We kick off with the row. So we just don't do rearing.
Yeah.
But it's
Sam could have employed you as a bouncer at his Young Farmers
I know,
AGM
mate, yeah.
event that you've been. Tell us a bit about that then, Sammy. Come on.
To be fair, I've literally just got my voice back, which is quite lucky. But yeah, over the weekend I was running the Young Farmers AGM in Blackpool, which I think you two have kept an eye on social media, haven't you? Yeah, so I run it in Blackpool. The National Federation used to run it, and they stopped doing so after COVID. So I've just been in charge with two other friends. In charge of 6,000 young farmers for the weekend.
Keeping them under control.
Yeah.
How on earth did you keep them under control?
Mate, honestly, it surprised you. They are lunatics, but they spend that much money in the bars. The bars just let them do what they want.
Yeah.
And we have meetings with the police and the council and stuff prior. And we saw the chief on Sunday night, and he said he'd made 2 arrests of farmers all weekend.
Yeah, because not being funny, most country people are happy drunks, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, and they know the boundaries.
Yeah, they do.
They are wild. Don't get me wrong.
And they do get away. Like,
and how many people go to this in total?
6,000.
We just descend on Blackpool.
Yeah, there's probably more, but we know of the 6,000, and it's a lot. Like, Blackpool's not a huge, like where all the bars are concentrated in the town. There's not a lot. You know, they're not far away from each other, and so everywhere you look, there's a T-shirt with a dodgy slogan on the back, and
show full gilets everywhere.
Yeah, literally boat shoes. Yeah, no, it's good crack, very good crack.
And I'm interested. You've got your Swazi top on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about your sponsorship.
Yeah.
You've got a few sponsors.
So a friend of mine now owns Swazi, and I met with Ross the other day.
Oh yeah, Ross.
Yeah, he's a top lad.
He's a good lad. Yeah,
he's a really good lad. Do you know about this guy?
I don't know, do I?
He used to own Canterbury.
Oh
you know,
wow.
You know, he's in your rugby firm and everything. Yeah, he used to own Canterbury.
Yeah,
and he's from New Zealand, and he's a businessman. And he's bought Swazi, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You'll be able to say more than probably I know. I just met. We're going to start stocking them.
Yeah. I mean, they bought Swazi, and it's a well-known, recognised brand, but it's been quite niche, quite small, not quite hard to get because of where it is.
Yeah.
Not many people stock it, so yeah, he's basically taking it on and trying to push it more in the UK and get it going. I mean, and it's been well received. I mean, it's
good,
I mean,
it's
the
really
gear
good.
that I tried some on at the shooting show.
Yeah.
It's
proper. We're doing a partnership with them at the Game Fair this year.
Yep.
So they're coming onto the stand at the Game Fair. You'll be there and everything like that.
Yeah.
And we're doing like a sort of a showcase of all their products and things like that. Because not only is it good kit, I mean, it's really good kit. I mean, if you're going to use it like you do for working in, but it's good value as well.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's done break the bank.
Yeah. It's not because some of this stuff now has just got ridiculous, hasn't it? You know, and I know there's a market for all of it, but I think he's going to do really well with the brand. He's got amazing reputation and history of other brands and clothing world. So
yeah, definitely.
I think he'll do
Mate, if you're on Canterbury, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
100%.
What a business that was.
Yeah, and he's been involved. He was involved in the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, he's in.
When I was at school,
Sailing World Cup
Sailing
now,
World Cup now, and America's Cup, and
at school, if you didn't have a pair of Canterbury trackies, you like in the rugby team, you were just nobody. Yeah.
So
and you've got Hick Micro, haven't you, as well?
No, not.
Oh, Zeiss.
Yeah, Zeiss.
Edit that out, Charlie.
Yeah. No, it's not a taboo. I did some stuff with Hick actually, but with Zeiss. Been with Zeiss for probably 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
Are they the best, mate? One of?
Yeah.
So
but they are. It's
Are they not all pretty much there? All the optic firms.
I'd say that you got the top tier. And there's 3 in the top tier.
So
and they're one of them.
Zeiss, Leica, and Swarovski. I mean, and then you got Smith and Bender, next one down.
Yeah.
But a whole lot of the optics industry has come on so much.
Amazing,
I mean,
Do you know, you see them all at shows, and you sort of think, how many thermal binoculars and binos can one man want? Like, they're everywhere, aren't they?
Well, the trick with that, see, they're quite clever on that. Same as any development industry, once you've got one, there's a supersede,
Yeah.
and it is better.
And they all want a new
course.
one every year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but some of this kit now is phenomenal.
it is
isn't
unbelievable. Yeah,
I mean, it's made your job. I mean,
Yeah.
thermal and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you've been doing it for years, but the days before thermal now is an absolute game
totally.
changer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is totally. Yeah.
What was Charlie on last night? Was that thermal or?
No, that's day. That was an evening stroll in the sunshine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, waited up on the bank and took out the PRC, which is a bit of a longer range rifle, and got out the gongs before and got the clicks and dialed it in, and yeah, he's 4.34.
Did you stop him?
Yeah, just clicked it out, and yeah.
Wow.
So I was
That's a
chuffed
long
that
old
shot.
way, isn't
Yeah, I was
That's
chuffed
a
with
big
that
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be knackered, mate.
And tell us a little bit about your rifles and things like that. Are you sponsored by any rifle
Yeah,
manufacturers?
sponsored by Seiko, and
Yeah.
and the same as all these brands I use. It's not like, I mean, I get offered quite a bit of kit, to be
Yeah.
fair, but I only use stuff I've been using or have used for years.
Yeah,
And-
otherwise you're a bit of a brand
Exactly.
whore,
Yeah,
with
that's
one
the
swears the word. But you can be, can't you?
can
This is
be.
a family show.
Yeah, you've said worse than that, Rob.
Yeah, you can, and I've always used stuff that I've used and abused and I know works, and
Yeah.
so there's no sort of like grey area. Simple.
Yeah, and that's probably why you've got a reputable following. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and like you said, secondly, what are the best scopes? I'll say the truth. It's down to preference a lot of the time when you
Yeah.
get to that
Well,
certain level.
And budget as well, I would
exactly,
imagine.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there's a certain budget, and
Yeah.
you're in that world, and there's a certain budget you're in that world,
Exactly.
isn't
Yeah. Yeah. So now I've been using Seiko rifles for ever and a day, really.
Yeah. We
and that-
sell quite a few, and I'm amazed how many people spend, £1,800 on a rifle, and then spend £5,000 on an optic.
yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
oh, yeah,
It is.
yeah. That is-
I mean, I'm not a rifleman, so I don't.
Yeah.
You sort of, but for people, it's all about the optics.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to balance it up, otherwise it's
Yeah.
not a good setup.
I love it.
And let's finish on this, Paul. Have you got a shot or a memory or a hunt in your mind that is just your best ever that will stick in your memory for a lifetime? When you speak about just casually knocking out a 450-yard fox last night, there must be some belters in there.
There is. I mean, done so many. I've been so lucky to do so many nice hunts and shoots. I mean, everything from a fantastic double gun day, grouse day.
Yeah.
Enjoyed all those days. But probably when it comes down to actually protecting or saving yourself, probably the buffalo is going to be like the one I remember, because
Yeah.
it was down to basically, I think it was skills, just natural ability to do the job
Yeah.
when he was charging. So that's probably the one that always sticks out, because it was.
Yeah, if you haven't watched that, anyone will listening, give it a watch, because
Yeah.
I mean, you're in like dense, thick
Yeah.
bush, aren't you? You can hardly make out the buffalo, can
Yeah,
you?
that was probably the most memorable. The buffalo was back in 25, 30 yards, and it was already
It's not
wounded
far,
with,
that is.
with a snare, so it's already angry.
really?
Yeah, and it got up and turned and faced us, and the PH said,
And that's just from poachers out there.
Poachers, yeah.
Yeah, putting
and
snares
he
out.
said, yeah, take it under the horn. I was like, okay. And first shot, it was through bamboo, and the first shot hit it, and it deflected down the side of his flank, 'cause obviously they're very hard animals, as you know, and it just comes straight, and I was like, it's coming.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so I reloaded, couldn't see it because it was coming through the brash, dropped to my knee and shot the second shot, which was a perfect shot actually. But again, it's just the angle, went underneath the eye, straight into the brain, would normally stop it. It ricocheted the back of his mouth, and after we found it actually come forward, it went like 360. And then the third shot, I hit a piece of bamboo, and then the fourth shot, I shot it about here to the camera, front of the PH, and rolled it. And yeah, I think it was.
So what, you were like 5 yards away from it?
Yeah. Literally, he just got the rifle up
That
and it
sounds
spun.
utterly petrified.
Mate.
That is why I don't do it.
It was super cool. I didn't even realise I just done it. It was just like in work mode, and yeah, the last one spun him over and then just finished him off. So it was
What was Dave like on the camera?
fair play. He stood his ground.
Yeah?
He stood his ground. There was quite a few.
He was in it for the views.
Yeah, he was. Cameraman.
This
gets
is going to
killed.
go viral.
But
Flipping
no,
out.
the PH stood his ground. Obviously, I had to stand my ground, but quite a few of the trackers, they exited a few metres. And,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Excuse me for 2 seconds.
That's unbelievable.
Look at these two. You're going to run us down.
We've got intruders.
We'll get you on here in a minute. We're doing a podcast. Our Polaris sponsors here. Look.
Yeah.
Our,
You have to get on the camera now, lads.
Yeah.
No one can see you.
No one can see. Come round and do a bit of
Do a loop.
Polaris sponsorship. Do a bit of come round. Yeah.
Who we got?
Look, electric, the new
Yeah.
kinetic.
Yeah, flipping out.
Look at that. Look at him.
Rob Fennick doing stuff for the economy. Or the environment, rather.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that rounds off a nice podcast.
That's a classic.
Is that who you got a meeting with?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Thomas. Yeah, who runs a huge haulage business
Yeah.
that people will know of. So yeah, he's just here to look at the new kinetic Polaris that he
And
wants to
annoy us.
and annoy us, I think, by the looks of things.
Well, listen, Paul, thank you very much for coming on the podcast, mate.
No, pleasure. Thanks for
Thanks,
having me.
Paul.
Real
really
pleasure.
good to see you, mate. Really
No.
good to speak to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks very much.
And I've learnt something about your kickboxing as well.
Yeah, I think
I'll never,
everyone's learned
ever-
something.
If you say next time you shot a 95 and not 94, I'll just say, yes, that's fine. You can have 95, mate. Whatever you want. Don't worry about it.
I'll use
Whatever
it.
you say.
I'll definitely use that.
100%. Brilliant. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. Don't forget, new episodes every Sunday at 1 o'clock on the Tweedl Pod on YouTube and on Spotify. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And, yeah, we'll see you next Sunday.
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.